Good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss another important poet, and that is Hopkins. His full name was Gerald Manley Hopkins. He is a Victorian poet only by birth because he was born in Victorian age, but in many ways his poetry is modern because of his writing style and his thought. His childhood was shaped. Let's know about Hopkins' life. His childhood was shaped by events of Victorian society, but he wrote against the current because he was born in a Victorian age, but he wrote against the current, against the temperament of his age. But he wrote against the current. His poems were not published during his lifetime. It was published in 1918, although he died in 1889, almost 30 years after his death. It is a very remarkable thing that his poems were published after his death, and that is 30 years later. Hopkins had a religious background. His mother insisted him to read Bible regularly. It had become a habit with him to read Bible. At the age of 22, he was converted to Roman Catholicism. After 2 years, he joined the Jesuit Society and was ordained to priesthood. So, his mother made him to become a priest, motivated him to become him a priest. So this was very contradictory to his temperament. Hopkins spent a lifetime in a situation of conflict and self-inflicted attempts to discipline his intellectual vigor. On the one hand, he was a priest, and on the other hand, his heart is full of passionate feelings, and due to his priestly duties, he was unable to express openly his feelings. So there was a mental conflict all his life. He felt that his poetic ability are contrary to his priestly duties. He fears that writing poetry would not be approved, would not be considered a good act by his seniors. But Hopkins' poetry is remarkable in many senses. His poetry belonged to modernism in many ways. His treatment of subject and use of language is in line of modernism. Use of subject and use of language. Besides this, there is a lot of experimentation in his poetry, as we found in modern poetry, and mostly he experimented in rhythm and syntax. There is objective individualism in his poetry. He evolved a sprung rhythm, a new term he has given, a sprung rhythm, to express his thought. And what is a sprung rhythm? A sprung rhythm did not follow to any traditional metrical feet. A sprung rhythm did not follow, did not copy any many previous conventional metrical feet. It allowed the words to create its own rhythm. He coined new words and also used archaic. Archaic means old expressions in his poetry. So he also coined new words and used archaic words. So this is the background of Hopkins' poetry. He was born in a Victorian age, but he was a Victorian only by birth. But his poetry, his treatment of subject, and his use of language is in line with modern poetry. Now, the poem prescribed in your course is The Sea and the Skylark. So it is a sonnet, a 14 lines poem There is a plurality of the title between the sea and the skylark. It is the representation of water and air. The last six lines in the octave part, in the sestet part, the later part, the concluding part, the poet introduces a third point of view, and that is the earth. It is inhabited by the man. Hopkins describes that God has created man and had given him supreme status. The mankind is given the supreme status among all his creation. But human beings have lost this status due to unethical practices. The man has forgotten the simple fact that he was created by mud, by soil, and later on he would also mix, after his death, he would mix with the death, with the mud, with the soil. But human beings have forgotten this simple fact. The poet makes a very subtle use of repetition. So this is Hopkins' quality, that he has used repetition of many repetition, subtle, very clever repetition of words to create music. For example, in the poem Year and Year, make and making, break or breaking, and he also used alliteration, the repetition of consonant sounds. You must have known in the first year the term alliteration. In the poem you will found that such as alliteration such as wild, winch, will, etc. Look at all three words beginning with W. So it is a repetition of W sound, that is alliteration. So the Hopkins uses all these words, all these techniques to create its own music throughout the poem. I hope that you will enjoy the poem when we are going to read it. Okay, thank you.